Always great to see you. And this is such an important conversation that we continue to have, right? Because we need to, but we obviously don't want it to turn into background noise with our kids. So how can we keep this conversation active? When is a good time to perhaps bring the subject up again?
You're right. We keep having this conversation under changing circumstances. And even though we're dealing with a milder version of this virus, the fears have been there since the beginning. And it's difficult to ask kids to just transition as this virus is changing. So generally, there is a format when you're talking to kids about anything. I use the three S's: sensitive, serious, or scary. And first, we want to start where they're at. We want to find out what questions they have, what their thoughts are, what they're thinking. And as parents, just sit back and listen and let them get it out.
You don't want to say the wrong thing, obviously, and then make the situation even worse. So what can a parent say to just start that conversation?
That's a good question. Number one, we want to validate whatever they're feeling and thinking and normalize it, and also reassure them of their safety. So a good question is, a lot of people are talking about this coronavirus. How are you feeling about it? What are some of your thoughts about it? And then listen. And we want to be able to say to them, you are totally normal in having some anxiety about it. A lot of people are fearful, but here are the facts. This is what we know. And at that point, we can reassure them of their safety. No matter what happens, you're going to be okay. It's important that kids have information, because when they don't have the correct information, they feel out of control of their world. And that's when the anxiety rises.
Right. And for parents, it's really hard to not get up on your soapbox, right? So how can you make this feel like a give and take conversation and less of a lecture?
Yeah, and I think that comes from asking open-ended questions. How are you feeling about this? What have you heard at school about this? Really questions that are not a yes or no question. We don't want to probe them saying, are you feeling scared? We want to really open the conversation to get their responses. And then their responses can guide where we go with it. Many kids right now, I'll just put this out there, they're fearful based on what they've heard. They're scared that they're going to die. They're going to scared that one of their parents might die. They've heard of people dying from this virus. So we want to be able to clarify and give them the facts they need. Let them know that this is a milder form of the virus. They're going to be okay. And also, another thing that's really important is to let them know it's not their fault that they got this. They've done all the right things, wearing masks, washing their hands, but this is something that is contagious. People are going to get it, but we're all going to be okay.
Yeah, right. Because at the end of the day, it's about making them feel safer, making us feel safer. So how can we accomplish that? Because that is key.
Making them feel safer. Well, this is really important too, and especially because, like you said, parents are burned out. They have their own anxiety they're dealing with. Pick a time where you as a parent feel calm. You're not distracted. You're not going to get pulled away from your phone. You can really focus your attention on the child. I love the quote, your actions speak so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. So we don't want to come into it anxious or hurried. We want to be able to make the time. And that sets the tone for more of a peaceful, relaxed conversation. And just reassure them that we're going to be in this together. We're going to get through this together, and we're going to come out of it okay together.
And of course, you've got the parents back if they need any help. Niro Feliciano, yes, thank you so much. We appreciate those tips.